Okay, good afternoon and welcome to the Westport Board of Health June 9th, 2025 meeting, which I'm calling to order. Under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, this meeting is being recorded. And please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the director's written report. Any questions on that? If not, we'll turn to the verbal report.
Okay, so we, on the blood drives, we've been moving right along with this and getting good turnout at each of them. So our next blood drive is on June 12th at Whites of Westport from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and July 17th at Whites of Westport from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And we're still working on the schedule from the August-December schedule, and we'll let the public know as soon as we get that schedule nailed down.
Matt, it would be nice to tell the community how many pints that we're getting with either at the end of the year or with each blood, drive that we have. So I think that helps. It helps me to know what good we're doing. And that this is just not we're having this blood drive, but gee, we're having a blood drive and we collected 40 units. That's 40 people that can be saved or helped with that. So
Yeah, last year I did my report at the end of the year with how many pints we collected and how many patients that helped.
okay.
So I usually save it to the end of the, in December I'll give that report.
Thanks for the reminder.
Okay. All right, so Colin Haslam was appointed transfer station foreman by the select board at their June 2nd meeting. He has now transitioned from a staffing agency to a town of Westport employee. Gina DeSante was appointed on-call animal control officer by the select board at their June 2nd meeting with an effective start date of July 1st. She will continue to work through the staffing agency until then. The select board also approved the job description and authorized posting for the shared services community health specialist position, in which we'll, this week I'll work on getting posted, most likely through the staffing. I think the board already agreed on to go through the staffing agency on this one. Just as that's not listed on my report is Gabby tendered her resignation effective July 3rd. To take a full-time position with the town of Marion as their health agent. So I had just before we came downstairs sent a memo over to Jim and Paula asking for permission for that to get on the select board meeting a week from today to get permission to post that position with an effective date of any time after July 3rd, I guess.
Gabby has been a great resource, and I'm really sorry to see her go. She's been really helpful to me on various projects, and I know has been a great addition to the office, so that's a big loss for us.
It definitely is. So there's going to have to be some backfilling of certain duties of that I'll be working on with the staff tomorrow on how we're going to proceed forward. Everything in our department is going electronic and digital. The electronic permitting, for example, it's already started in the building department, and there's a great deal of work that we have to do on our end. It's different than getting a hard application, looking at it, and just putting your initials on it. Now we have to go into this new electronic permitting system, look at it, and then sign off electronically in the system. Gabby was doing all of that. Now we'll be transitioning that to somebody else to do. Same thing with the digitizing of all the files. There's a lot of computer work that goes along with that. Not to mention Gabby was going through all the septic plans that just kind of been hanging out there in a box that have been expired for years, sending letters saying, okay, well, your plan's been expired. What is your intention? Are you going to, get this repaired or just starting to engage these people with these expired plans. That's, something I don't wanna, have to go backwards on. I'd like to be able to continue that, so, come up with a plan, I guess, of how we're gonna be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for my notes what webinar I went to. It might have been a Mass Care one, but someone talked about applying for an intern for the summer. And it was through a grant, and it was through a public health department in a smaller municipality. So I'll see if I have notes about that, but that may be something we could do in the future if there's grant funding for interns to have them come in the summer and do different projects. And these are, I think, generally students of public health that are in public health.
Yeah, I know that UMass Dartmouth has they used to have an intern program or something that I was gonna reach out to this week, see if they, how do we get on that list and how does that work?
The interns would be good for sort of short-term time, sort of self-contained projects. Ongoing work that the office continues to have to do is probably best for regular staff, but there are plenty of projects that
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I just think that if there's a way for us to access some additional help, especially even if it's a short period of time, that would be beneficial to the department.
Yeah, I can imagine, for instance, the unknown
Yeah.
cesspool follow-up project, that kind of thing would be great for an intern. Okay.
And then, just lastly, on June 17th, MIA is hosting a virtual info session on unhealthy heat initiatives. So I thought that would be
Yeah,
interesting.
that'd be great.
Yeah, so,
Are we a member?
yes.
Okay. Oh, so any of us on the board could sign up and,
Yeah.
or it would be just for one person?
No, you can sign up.
Okay, because I did put that down on my
Because
calendar.
there's no fee for this, because it's just virtual, right?
It
Or is
says,
there a fee?
Well, for MIHA members, it's free.
it's
Yeah.
free for me,
Non-members.
but for non-members, that's why I'm asking if we are official members.
I'm pretty sure I renewed the board's membership already, but if they send you an email saying you're not members, then
Okay.
I'll look into it. Okay, that's all that I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
All right, then moving on to a director-approved septic plans.
Okay, we have a 4-bedroom upgrade on a 74,052 square foot lot for 1240 Drift Road for an Ann Fletcher, utilizing a quick floor at a Singular. This has been through Concom and it's not replacing a cesspool. 3-bedroom upgrade on a 32,500 square foot lot, 283 Robert Street for Michael Pimentel, using a Presby and a Microfast. It's been through Concom, and it's not replacing a cesspool. Then we have a 4-bedroom repair on a 40,000 square foot lot on 42 Kirby Road for Stefan Roars, utilizing a stone bed. It's been through Concom, and it's not a cesspool replacement.
Okay, can you clarify the deed restriction question?
That was, it wasn't my question. They don't need deed restrictions at this point.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on these three? Bob, one of them is not on your agenda, so you just have to add it. We'll give you
Of the agenda? Okay. Alright.
1240 Drift Road, right? Okay, then I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the 3 director-approved plans, 1240 Drift Road, 283 Robert Street, and 42 Kirby Road. All in favor? Aye, that's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, moving on to minutes. I'm going to cruise here. May 6th. Minutes. This is a special meeting.
It's not really May 6th.
Was it not May 6th? May 20th, sorry.
But it says, so that has to be fixed on
The actual minutes.
the actual minutes, because in the corner, it says that it's May 6th, but it's really the May 20th
Right.
minutes.
Okay, so we'll fix that. Any other?
Those were submitted by me. It was a special meeting.
Right. Concerns with that. I had to leave early, so I can't speak to the, oh no, maybe not, that's not this one, sorry.
No.
Any questions or concerns about those minutes?
Except for the fact that we need to just have that change
Right.
at the top. So I move that we approve these minutes with the change at the header as the correct date of May 20th and not May 6th.
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the minutes of May 20th. All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay, and we have one at May 29. Okay, the file name is incorrect, but it
Yes.
looks correct on the agenda. I mean, on the printout.
Right. And I have a change on, a small change, if I can just find where it is on there. It's under Olive's presentation. It says that tick repellent containing permethrin is also effective on skin. That is not correct.
Okay, just on clothing.
So that has it just on clothing,
Mhm.
but it does not get absorbed by the skin if it's on the clothing. So,
So just point of information, just because I bought some permethrin, spray bottles, and there was very clear instruction not to put it on your skin.
right, yeah, but on the minutes, it just says that, so I just wanted
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make sure that was changed.
Right. So I just because it's not only not effective, but
It's dangerous.
it can be harmful.
Did anybody see anything else that they thought needed to be fixed?
No.
Okay, so I move that we approve the meetings with that change of no permethrin on the skin, making sure that's removed. So I move to approve the May 29th, 2025 minutes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the May 29th, 2025 minutes with that one edit. All in favor? Aye, that's unanimous. And then, Matt, can you just make a note that Nancy's changed the file name also, so it's correctly cataloged? It should be 529.
5:29?
Yeah, the minutes themselves are correct, but the file name
Yeah,
says 520.
okay.
So so that we file them correctly. And
Oh.
can find them in the future, that's all.
Okay.
And the same thing with the 5-6. The file name needs to be corrected to 520.
Just where are you seeing that?
It's
If you look at the, you won't see it in the hard copy, but
Okay.
on the tablet, the file name,
Oh,
so just electronically, the file name needs to be corrected so that we can file them, we can find them by file name correctly. Sorry, I'm being obtuse there. Okay, so the minutes have been approved. Other business, board member updates.
Well, just to say that on the Pine Ridge Estates, Matt and I are going to attend a meeting that the chair of the ZBA has convened for Wednesday morning, just among town officials who are involved in the case and petitioner. But it's not. I don't think I don't understand it to be a public meeting because it's only the chair's going to be there.
Okay.
So, and I met with Matt this morning and we talked about, what we're going to say, and I think we feel pretty strongly that our position against the waiver of the
Yeah, that's the only,
of the perk, and we'll just have to see what happens.
yeah, okay. All the other topics would be outside of our remit, but just that,
Yeah.
and we all agree on that. Okay, great, thank you very much for following up on that. Anything else?
I'm just organizing for the,
River Day.
for River Day.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Okay, we have 10 minutes before our scheduled hearing. Topics for the next regular meeting, which will be on June 23rd. Anything people want to bring up at that point? Any of our long-term project for discussion?
So we could probably follow up on the working meeting, and I'm not sure when the next ZBA meeting is. It on with everybody.
It's in the beginning of July.
Okay.
I just don't know exactly when, and I think that is going to be the kind of final decision meeting, because I think the way the regulations are set up, they have a timeline unless the applicant chooses to agree to a continuance. So I think that's what will come out of one of the things that will come out of the meeting is, whether or not the parties can agree that more information needs to be developed, and so that will be continued, or the applicant will just say, make your decision based on what's been presented.
Okay.
So we'll see. Yeah, and I don't know, I guess we could, depending if Matt and I have a chance to get together and hammer anything out on the water regs, we could just have an update on that. But I understand, that there's a lot of
I would
other
say
news.
right now, given the staffing
Yeah,
turnover and
exactly.
shortages, is probably, let's put that
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little bit aside,
Yeah.
just because Matt's plate is very full at the moment.
yeah.
Okay.
No, I respect that totally.
Any other unanticipated business? Okay.
I just wanted to address, because we didn't really get a chance to address how we would proceed with following up on the systems that we don't have information on the septic systems that we don't have plans for. Because I know that we have, as we're getting people who have cesspools coming in and doing Title V now, we're decreasing that. That list, but as far as how many unknowns are still left, and then how we want to proceed with that.
So I update the septic system database after, for every meeting. So I can run an updated report to give us a sense of how many unknowns we still have and how many cesspools we haven't had any plans for yet, and known cesspools. I also did get a map that the Buzzards Bay Coalition did for me, locating all of the unknowns. It's pretty small scale, you're looking at it, but it could give us a sense of, we talked about phasing and prioritizing, so where there's a higher density of unknowns, and it's basically in older neighborhoods, right? Of course, that makes sense, because we're looking at typically houses that are more than 60 years old, where we don't have a plan on file, and then the ones we know, we've already notified. So, so I'll work on that for.
Let me know if you need help with that,
Yep, sure.
and what I can do to help.
Okay.
That's what I should say, not if you need it, what I can do to help.
Okay.
I have a notification update, just more for people who might watch this, which is on June 17th at 6 o'clock in the public library. There's going to be a presentation by representatives of the Hazard Mitigation Committee that has developed, kind of identified what kind of hazards, health hazards, storm hazards, fire hazards, for example, and what some potential response plans are that. And it's a committee that the police and fire, the Board of Health, Planning Board have been on, and so this is an opportunity for the public to come and comment on the plan as it moves, as it kind of moves forward. So the 17th at 6 o'clock at Westport Public Library, and take the opportunity to find out what's going on, and an opportunity for you to provide your input.
Great, thank you. And that reminds me, I know at the last meeting we discussed, you brought up the Gooseberry Causeway study.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe that information is available on the Buzzards Bay Coalition website, so if people are interested in the results of that study, which indicated the causeway itself, but more the island, is the main or a major contributing factor besides climate change and sea level rise to East Beach erosion. But people want to dig into that, they can go to the Buzzards Bay Coalition website. Just Google that and you can find out.
It was recorded, so it's also on YouTube.
Oh, great. Yep. Thank you, Valerie, for that update. So there's information also available on YouTube for that public meeting that was held about that. Any other sort of public announcements we can make? I did post of course now it's gloomy weather, just weather-wise, but the wildfire smoke that's coming east, the
From
purple
Canada.
from
Canadian
Canada.
wildfires.
Yep. The purple air sensors that we've located in town are a good source of data for people to look and see what the air quality
I
is.
have one on my house. So.
Yes, right. So you can go to or Google purpleair.com and you'll get the map. And you can click on the locations. We have them at the 2 fire stations at White's of Westport, the Watershed Alliance at the head of Westport, over on Tickle Road, and the transfer station, right? Or somewhere. Where else is the 6th one?
I don't know, I had to ask. You got White's, Tickle Road, 2 fire stations.
I thought we didn't have the one at White's anymore.
No, it's still there.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes it goes out.
I don't know, I'll have to look at the list, I don't remember the 6th
Yeah,
one.
anyways, there's a bunch of them spread around town, so we got a grant for that. So it's useful to have very localized data on air quality, particularly particulate matter. And if the conditions get worse, for sensitive people who have asthma and other respiratory illnesses, we would recommend a mask when you're going outside to help prevent inhalation of particulate matter. Trying to think of any other public health announcements we can make.
No.
I mean, continuing to be careful with ticks, making sure you're wearing bug spray, you're wearing anything with DEET, and then if you treat your clothes. But we know that there's an increase in other illnesses that was reported last week, so people could still be vigilant and protect themselves from mosquitoes and ticks. And if you come to the Watershed Alliance, I might have some little samples of things to give you to help you keep the ticks away.
And we have those tick identification cards and other resources here as well. Yes, I would say there's definitely been an uptick in tick.
And uptick in ticks?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking. In the tick population, so being vigilant and, you know, as I mentioned, they don't, submersion in water doesn't get rid of them, so do a tick check after, you know, in every shower or bath. It's a great time to do a tick check. Anything else? Okay, we'll wait a couple minutes for our 4:30 hearing. That would be Len Potter, or 104 Sylvia's Lane. So.
I could add for updates, I have next week another opioid settlement fund advisory committee meeting at 6 o'clock. It's in conflict with the mitigation meeting. But I have got 2 different sets of speakers coming in. 2 of them are from STAR, and the other one is from a group that has to do with housing, sober housing, to tell us more about that, because that's an identified need in some of the data that we've collected from people in the community, is access or financial support for sober housing.
Great.
So I encourage people to come or to watch it, because it's usually on the YouTube.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, Mr. Potter, we are ready and waiting for you. I'm going to call the 4:30 variance hearing for 104 Sylvia's Lane, owned by Brendan Donadio, represented by Len Potter. This is a 2-bedroom affair with a quick floor on a 10,585 square foot lot. So we'll start with Mr. Potter's presentation.
This is a copy of my lot up to the abutter. The abutters, I'm sorry. Good evening, I'm Len Potter with Brendan Donadio.
So,
104 Sylvia's Lane. And what we have, again, this lot encompasses both sides of the right-of-way of Sylvia's Lane, 20-foot right-of-way. The house itself sits on the riverside, on the western side. Currently has a cesspool shown to the north of the house in concentric circles. That's going to be done away with. We're going to install a 2,000-gallon 2-compartment tank on the north side of the house, south side of the house, 4 feet from the house, but the house is on piers, so there's no basement. It's the only variance for that. 11 feet from the property line, 12 feet from the right-of-way line, and we're going to pump the effluent to the lot on the east side of the road. There's an existing garage on that lot, and the well for this property is actually inside that garage. So we intend to drill a new well in the northeast corner of the lot, as shown on the plan on the riverside, and pump the effluent to the leach field as shown. Quick flow system, 14 by 22.2, 16 feet from the the rear property line, 12 feet from the south line. And that system would be within 100 feet of 3 wells. 81E Sylvia's Lane, we're going to be 71 feet from that. And let's see, 66 feet from the well at 99. And we're going to end up being 86 feet for the proposed well. The proposed well's not drilled yet, so we're looking to get the plan approved so we can drill a well there and get a sample on that. The samples are back from those 2 wells and they're in your file. And they came out in decent shape. And that's pretty much it. And underneath this other, no, that's the only variances, and well variances for those 2 properties, 81E and 99 Sylvia's Lane, and also the proposed well at 104. That's it.
Okay. And you've submitted a maximum feasible compliance request
Yep.
based on water quality, or well water conditions adequate.
Didn't I give you one?
Yes, that's what I'm reiterating.
Oh, okay.
Just, that's your, so requesting maximum feasible compliance for the. We're going to turn to Matt.
so So I don't see anything wrong with the way the plan is drawn and everything, but Phil had brought up, and I'm gonna just turn it over to him about the proposed well.
Well, you know, so what I raised is that in the upgrade, you can reduce the setback, and I don't know actually if the word existing is in the regulation from the existing well, which we, regularly, allow, but there's a separate regulation that requires, that prohibits a new well from being constructed with less than 100 feet. And so, and that would require, a separate variance, not, if I'm right about it, not under the local upgrade approval. It would be, whatever is a 410, except,
A 405.
a 405, yeah, 405. But I don't know and it's more of, I think, of administrative
Right.
issue, because, as Matt pointed out when we were talking about this earlier, there's really no other option that's going to get you a full 100 feet. So I mean, personally, I'm comfortable approving it now, but I just wanted to, point that out. Matt, I think it was Matt's opinion that we should do it as part of this approval rather than, approving the septic part of it, but then treating the well as a separate, process, which normally doesn't get brought in front of the board.
Right. I'm worried about, I could move that well back, which is the river, but then I'm worried about salt water.
Uh-huh,
So, as it is now,
I see, yeah,
I advise my client to drill an artesian well. If that doesn't work, then we'll have to change it to a shallow well.
right,
I don't care for shallow wells, but life's not easy.
yeah. Yeah. And also, it's up gradient of the septic system, so that's also,
Yeah.
a good thing. So,
When you say
that's my comment.
upgrading, isn't it downgrading?
It's downgrade.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought,
No, it's
okay.
Downgrade.
It is downgrade.
Yeah.
I was looking at this, so I was thinking the 6, 7, 8, 9 is,
The septic, the perk test itself was at 1410, and the elevation of that well is 9, so it's
I was saying, here's the leach field, okay, I was confusing it with the tank,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I see that, okay.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah,
it's uphill of the tank, yes.
yeah.
Okay, so what I'm not clear from what you're saying, Phil, you're prepared to support.
Oh, so you have the regs here?
I do.
So what is it?
It does not say existing.
Okay,
Mention
so it doesn't
existing.
distinguish between existing and proposed.
No.
So that may be the answer to my question.
However, the conflict between I have it opened up to the new wells cannot be within 100 feet of
Right.
an SAS. So the
Yeah.
question, what I'm trying to understand is, should this be granted contingent upon a 405 variance request, which is a more, I mean, it is administrative, but to document that there is no feasible alternative for the well.
Right, so where's the local upgrade approval is what I was,
405.
no, I was,
405G,
Oh,
1G.
okay, okay, yeah, okay. So it says, here it says reduction of system location setbacks from water supply lines, private water supply wells, but not within 50 feet of the well, et cetera, but not, so the local upgrade approval section doesn't distinguish between new or proposed and existing private water supply wells in allowing a reduction,
It wouldn't, because it has an express prohibition against a well.
well, it could be, yeah,
Less than 100 feet.
yeah.
So in order to allow, to ensure compliance with that provision,
Right,
you need a 405 variance.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the right, yeah, no, I agree. I just don't know if administratively, it's like he's notified all the abutters, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's sometimes an administrative reason why you'd have to do it. So I think we just have to look at it as a different standard.
Yeah. 405, I'm sorry, a 410 variance. So the written requests, I mean, I'm just trying to see if we can do it kind of after the fact. We've notified all the abutters. We're a little squishy on the specific provisions notified, but and then we have to provide a written. I think, given what we know, I'm comfortable with granting the requested local upgrade approval conditioned upon completing the variance for the construction of the new well, compliance with 410. And so there needs to be a written explanation of why the well has to be moved and can't be with.
Can't use the existing well, so we gotta put a new well, and it's gotta be at least 50 feet away.
Well, it has to be, it should be, it's supposed to be 100 feet away from the SAS, and it can't be, but you just have to document that.
Right, it's an existing condition, you can't change it.
And, well, putting the well 100 feet away would put it into the saltwater
Right,
intrusion
right.
risk zone,
I'm
so,
worried about where it's going now.
yeah.
Well, they drilled the well next door, right here, and I'm showing it. That was drilled, and that one turned out okay, so
Okay, fingers crossed.
fingers crossed.
Okay, are we, is the board comfortable with this approach to granting the local upgrade approval conditioned upon completing the documentation for the variance?
Yeah, and I think the fact that there's going to be 3 years of well testing also kind of addresses the, the environmental part of it. I don't know how that's going to sequence out timing wise, but yeah.
I think I need this plan approved in order to drill the well. Once we drill the well, we need to have a water quality test done on that. And if it comes back with nitrates low enough, then I'm fine. If not, I gotta come back with a D-night system.
Yeah,
But I gotta start somewhere. I've gotta get that
Right.
well drilled.
and if the salt
Right.
level's too high, you have to
Like
go.
anything,
Yeah,
magnesium,
yeah.
manganese.
Manganese,
Right,
that
right.
manganese is in there. 81E has increased manganese.
Okay. So I think we have a plan for going forward, approving this plan subject to submission of a
I'll
variance.
give you a letter documenting the fact that I have no choice but what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you've already notified the abutters and
Yes.
yada yada. Okay. And then we can, we can consider that approved based on this approval, what we vote on today. Is that all right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to think about is in making a condition that was presented that in the event that, because once the SAS gets constructed and the house is occupied, and during that 3 years of well testing, that if it turns out that there are high nitrogen levels, that the
You'd have to add
that the plan would be amended to include a nitrogen reducing system.
Okay.
Okay.
So is somebody prepared to make a motion covering all that?
I'll put a draft motion out there. I'm
Okay.
sure we'll get some feedback.
Yep, well, let's
I've
work.
been writing stuff down, I'll see if you get it right.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right. So we move to approve the plan for Brendan Donadio of 104 Sylvia Lane, a 2-bedroom repair on a plan dated 2/10/25, subject to the following conditions. There's a local upgrade approval waiver of the well setbacks of the owner's well at 86 feet. The well at 81 E Street is 71 feet, and the well at 99 Sylvia's Lane is 66 feet, all subject to 3 years of well testing. And in the event that the proposed, that the well proposed to be installed on the plan is installed, and that the well tests conducted reveal that there is an exceedance of any of the MCLs or nitrogen limits, that a revised plan will be submitted to incorporate appropriate denitrification technology on the system, and then a hold harmless agreement.
You need a 2-bedroom deed restriction too.
Oh, I thought it's a 2-bedroom house,
It is a 2-bedroom.
and there's,
But because it's
20,000.
less than 3 bedrooms, you always have to have a deed restriction.
oh, okay, I forgot that. Okay, sure, deed restriction for that.
And
Okay.
has Concom approval.
It has, yeah.
And then the submission of the documentation for the
Okay,
well
right.
variance.
okay. I'll accept that amendment.
Okay, seconded. Did you get that, Bob?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded to approve the project at 104 Sylvia's Lane with those conditions, the local upgrade approvals, 3 years of well testing, hold harmless, 2-bedroom deed restriction, well variance documentation to be submitted, and conditional also on if the proposed well has for the homeowner has results exceedances, that the revised plan will need to be submitted with DNI.
And then the well testing is for all property,
Yes.
Yeah.
all the
All three.
properties and the variances. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Potter.
Does that well have to be tested for VOCs as well?
That's a question.
That-
the whole new wells drilled according to
Yeah.
our regulation has to be, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
You can shoot.
Yep. Okay, thank you, you too. So we've covered all of our business. We can do signatures afterwards, but I
Yeah.
will request.
Being there's no further business, I move that we adjourn this meeting at 4:49 PM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous, thank you.